Guess who's joining us right now? He's an honorary Fox and friend, I think.
Mr. Happy, here we have the governor, former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Steve. And yes, today I am Mr. Happy, to be sure.
You certainly are. Now you got to be Mr. What's Next, because as you head toward what's going to happen in 4 or 5 days in New Hampshire, currently, according to Real Clear Politics, you are trailing John McCain by about 2.5%. What are you going to do to overcome the Arizona senator?
Well, the main thing I've got to do is the message that I won with in Iowa. Keep it going. People are connecting. And it's not because I'm waving money at them. It's because I'm talking about how to make America better. I think, obviously, I don't change what I'm doing because it's working, and I just make sure I get it to more people.
Sure. Now, there's a theory out there that since you and John McCain are getting along so well, that you'll combine efforts to try to KO Mitt Romney, because a loss in New Hampshire would possibly get rid of Mitt Romney, at least as a front runner, correct?
I think what you're seeing is that Senator McCain and I both have an understanding about how to win the presidency, and it ought to be about our own ideas, not attacking each other. We've developed mutual respect. Look, we're still opponents in this race, but we don't see each other as enemies. We see each other as worthy soldiers fighting the fight to be president, and recognizing that each of us will have a chance to share our platform, and we have plenty to run on, both of us, without having to go and try to attack each other. That's what has perhaps caused some people to think we're united. Fact is, it's just a matter of what I would call the level of civil discourse that I'd like to believe more people in America really want to see in their politics and politicians.
Let me ask you, Governor, about something that's been going on the radio that I've been listening to. Rush Limbaugh has been talking over the last couple of days, talking about you and how well you've done in Iowa. And one of the points Rush makes is that you are not a true conservative. Not a true conservative in the spirit of Ronald Reagan. What do you say to Rush Limbaugh?
I was out there supporting Ronald Reagan when he was last place in the polls. I was one of the people that was a part of the Reagan Revolution in late '79 and early 1980 when the front runners were John Connally and Howard Baker and George Bush. You know, I find that ridiculous. I believe in the things like a strong national defense, less government, lower taxes. I believe in the integrity of small business, knowing that that's where 80% of our jobs come from, that we need to champion those small business owners and give them an opportunity to succeed without the government stepping all over them. I'm also pro-life. I'm pro-Second Amendment. I believe in the 10th Amendment. Let there be more power in the states, less in the centralized federal government. Now, if that's not conservative, somebody needs to hand me a new book and show me what conservatism is about. I love Rush Limbaugh. I think he's one of the great voices for American conservatism, and I'm not sure what information he's basing those thoughts on, but I think he's been one of the really great voices to help people understand what conservatism is. I've been a big fan of his show for many years, and I hope to make it so that someday he loves me as much as I love him.
Right. And are you going to call him? He says you know how to get a hold of him if you want to call him and just end the rip.
I've made contact. I've sent both phone messages and email messages, and I can't make him respond to me. I'd love to talk to him, whether by email or by phone, and hope we get a chance to do that. I've made 2 contacts now. Looking forward to hopefully getting a response.
You're not calling the 800 number that everybody else calls, are you? Because there's probably a secret hotline.
There may be, and I'll have to get that from you, because I know if anybody in America's got that, you've got that one.
Right. Governor Huckabee, or I'd give it to him. Governor Huckabee, as you head into New Hampshire, you have one of our great pundits, our great guest, who wrote a great book, Ed Rollins, and you took him actually from our couch. But he seems to go directly against your style. He's confrontational. Mitt Romney, I want to kick your teeth in and kick you in the groin. And Mitt, I can't even see you even thinking that way. How do you guys get together? Will you stay together?
Oh, absolutely. Ed's been a great asset to our campaign. I think one of the things that Ed loves a good brawl. He's an old boxer, and he likes a scrap. So, Ed's good for me. He reminds me that we do have to, mix it up and get out there and get our views out there. I'm probably maybe good for Ed a little bit. I'm going to temper him down and help him to become a kinder and gentler Ed Rollins.
Hey, stop.
We're going to see a conversion going on here soon.
kinder, gentler. I think that's already been used. Governor, let me ask you this. A month ago, you were way in the back of the pack. Mike Huckabee win Iowa? Yeah. Impossible. Today, how do you feel?
I feel like Seabiscuit. I mean, let's face it, there's a whole lot of Americans out there who love to know that the underdog can still win. I think that's part of what people are excited about. This campaign, as I said last night, it's not so much about me, it's about we. I looked in the faces of people who have driven their families from Arizona and Maryland, Pennsylvania, all over America to come and make phone calls and volunteer for us in Iowa. I didn't win because of me. I really did win that election because of just some amazing people, some on our staff and team who have worked like 2 and 3 people, and then a lot of volunteers from all over this country who just want to believe that America is still a great place, but we can make it better. But we have to change the tone of politics, and we also have to be clear and just absolute in our convictions.
How has your staff, how has your coffers grown since the Iowa victory? What have you heard in terms of tallies? What is now waiting for you in New Hampshire, South Carolina, Michigan, and everywhere else?
Well, I think MikeHuckabee.com became one of the most hit websites last night, and we started seeing a huge surge. Several $100,000 raised online after the caucuses. We're following with great interest today. We think our fundraising is going to get even better, and it's been better in the last few weeks. And you know, we're not opposed to that. We think that's a good thing for the campaign.
All right, former Governor Mike Huckabee, the Seabiscuit candidate. We thank you very much for joining us live from New Hampshire.
Thanks, Steve.